I'm not here. I'm actually in merry old England. So we have a best of show for you, our best interviews of the year. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Enjoy the show.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios, presented by Piranha Animal Health in the horse capital of the world. Thank you for joining us on the Horse Talk Show this week, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms. They're our television broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton, and as I mentioned before the show, I'm in England. We're bringing you some wonderful coverage from Royal Ascot and lots of other horse events. But because I'm not here, we're having a best of show. We've chosen some of our favourite interviews of the year, including but not limited to Buck Branaman, Mariana Yeager, Becky from Grateful Gallops, and of course, we kick it off with Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson Smith, talking about lameness, something I've unfortunately had to deal with my Mustang. Here's Dr. Cayot. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Chamber's Equine Initiative, here with Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. And we're actually going to talk about something that I'm dealing with Flynn, my Mustang, right now. Some weird, unexplainable intermittent lameness with swelling. Very strange, Dr. Cayot. I guess the thing about makes it good if you have a client who knows their horse really well, and when things just aren't right, it's noticeable. And then of course, because we try not to bother you too much, we try to get past it and hope it's going to go away, but then when it comes back in the same spot, it's a bit of a concern. So for me, that's what happened with Flynn. He, about a month and a half or so ago, big swollen leg, swollen around the hock area, back and front, probably 3 times the size of the other hock that day. And as he jogged up, I noticed he was a little bit off. As he turned, even more so, off on the turn, then did what we do some bute. We hope it goes away. We think he probably fell over in the rain last night and sprained it a bit, or maybe he got bitten by something large, spider or something, and it swelled up. So then it goes away, so you think, good, that was it. But then you get the same spot about 6 weeks later, swollen up in exactly the same place, and then we go, no, it's time to call Dr. Cayot.
Yeah, and you're forgetting one important part.
Yes.
He's very lame.
Yes.
He was very lame.
He was.
So history is very important, especially for these kind of obscure lameness or kind of funny, non-typical lameness or issues. So history is very important. So you kind of gave me the history of Flynn, so I could kind of obviously focus on an area. You had a picture of the hock, and so that helps immensely. Number one, cut down the time that it takes to kind of go through the exam, and then you can be much more efficient and kind of focus on the area. So today during Flynn's exam, swelling is gone. There's no swelling. Baseline, he doesn't have a lameness, so meaning we just jog him off.
You do the normal jog off,
yeah,
right?
just to jog off.
Flex everything.
Yeah, just to jog off, but before flexing. So I want to see what they look like baseline without any flexion or without without stressing anything. So then I get a baseline, and he was sound, so 0 out of 5. And then he carries a little bit of fluid in both of his hocks, so that's interesting. But
you called that a bog?
A bog. Yep.
A bog.
Yep. Old horse term. So then I go and I focus on that area. So I flexed the hock on the right hind, and he went off lame. Probably I grade him between 0 to 5, 5 being non-weight bearing. So he was about a 1+ to a 2, slightly.
So not anything terrible.
So nothing terrible. Yeah. No, nothing terrible.
I think that's what kind of made me feel like it wasn't any kind of a big deal, because the fact that he went sound. Now the first time he wasn't terribly lame. The second time when I called you, there was a much greater degree of lameness. So obviously an increase in discomfort.
Right. And so I do that, and then I compare it to the other side. So I flex the left side, and he was slightly off, but less than the right. And so my recommendation was then, okay, let's go x-ray it and see what we have. So saw something funky on the x-ray that didn't look typical, that I was kind of suspect of. So I took x-rays of the left hock to compare, which is always nice. You've got two, you can compare, and that helps. So yeah, it kind of confirmed my suspicion. It looks like one of the distal intertarsal bones has a slight fracture in it. And that then goes along with the history that you gave me.
Right.
The only thing that's a little bit funky is that, he's not more lame on the baseline. You would think that he was, but he got very lame after being worked. So that does coincide.
And that coincides with everything that I've seen, which is the more that Megan rides him, and she's been riding him for me, the more work he gets.
Yeah.
Then when I come on the weekend, that's when he's got the inflammation.
Yeah,
the weeks that she hasn't ridden him, I've come on the weekend, there's been nothing, which is why it kind of made me think he probably, it was wet last night, he probably ran around, fell over, hurt himself. But the second time is when it's really noticeable to an owner that, hey, wait, this is exactly the same spot, same inflammation, and now there's more lameness than was on the first go.
Right.
So here's your sign.
Right. So that's good. It's in a good spot. It'll heal eventually. So that goes to show you not all horses that get fractures in their legs have a terrible outcome. So, that's good.
And it is a small one.
It's a small one. Yeah. It's a small area. So, but it's just going to take some time. We say about 4 months is the textbook,
So then he needs to be not ridden for 4 months.
Yeah.
He needs to
minimal exercise,
preferably some stall time.
Yeah, ideally would be stall rest.
Stall rest, and then some weight loss.
Well, yeah. That regardless of whatever he did.
Whatever the weight loss.
He's been having a good summer.
He has. He's looking quite well otherwise.
Yeah.
And then the other thing to bear in mind is, and I don't know if this is a Mustang thing, it might be, or maybe it's just certain horses, he is a very stoic horse. And that is something to just be mindful of as well. Some horses, especially the wild ones that have come out of the wild like that, have had to be really tough. So he doesn't show, just as you saw on a regular walk, regular jog, you didn't see any lameness. It wasn't until you did something with him that you actually saw.
Right.
And even then you didn't see what I saw last Sunday. So it just shows you how he kind of carries on with it.
Yeah, that's true. And it goes with, knowing your horse and knowing how he is, because as I've said on this show many times, I only see your horse when I come here, sometimes maybe just twice a year,
Right.
So I don't know your horse
Right.
anywhere near you, the way the owner knows the horse. So all that stuff is really important, and history is of the utmost importance and helps us out a lot. So, and all that stuff.
Really. And something else I'll note as well, when someone else is exercising your horse for you and you don't see your horse actually in action under saddle, which has been the case for mine for the last few months, you don't actually get to watch the horse moving, so you don't see it. So if you do have someone else riding, it's a good idea to actually come and watch that going on. So you might see something that's different with your horse that So I think that's important as well.
Right.
But he is particularly stoic, which is how he goes through every day.
Some
quite
horses
happily.
are like that. Some horses are more stoic than others. Some can be drama queens and think
Yeah.
they're dying with a small little cut. But some
That's
of them
not Flynn, yeah.
that are
He's like,
stoic or
feed
they
me
can be
and I'm happy.
They can be harder to deal with, honestly, because you don't know how bad things are if they're not, giving us some indication.
This is true. So, and then medications, bute,
Just
as needed.
Anti-inflammatories as needed.
And
Yep.
so if he gets swollen or sore, but otherwise,
Is what it is.
it is what it is.
Yep.
Good answer. We'll hope he heals up fast. Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital in complete care on the Horse Talk Show, sharing some strange intermittent lameness.
Hi, I'm Becky Jenkins from Grateful Gallops. As a veteran, I understand the importance of holistic approaches to support pain relief, mobility, range of motion, and overall wellness. I offer mobile wellness services for you, your horse, and your dog, including cryotherapy and Beamer. For equines and canines, I also provide muscle scraping, massage, stretching, cold laser, red light therapy, cupping, craniosacral release, and other energy-based modalities. As an equestrian myself, I know how important a comfortable, relaxed horse is to performance and well-being. I come to you. I provide relief, promote healing, and would love to be part of your wellness journey with your 2, 3, or four-legged family members. Learn more at GratefulGallops.com or follow Grateful Gallops on social media. And don't forget to mention the Horse Talk Show ad for 50% off your first service.
The Larson family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations, with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larson Hay loves to meet new customers while always honoring the ones they already have. Find Larson Hay on the web at larsonhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor. Grateful for the foundation of excellence laid over 40 years ago by their founders, Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care continues to provide excellence in ambulatory and emergency care, surgery, internal medicine and sports medicine, with a lab and pharmacy, as well as the best in reproductive services at their Advanced Facility Center in Summerfield. For more information, find them at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now.
Hello, I'm Pat Myers, owner of Pat Myers Electric, a family-owned and operated business. My wife Sarah and I are horse owners ourselves and know what matters most to a farm owner, with the safety of their horses being of utmost importance to us. Pat Myers Electric can light up your arena and make sure your horse's barn is safe and protected. Pat Myers Electric is the horseman's choice. Discover more at patmyerselectric.com.
Veteran-owned Wide Automotive, that's WEIDE, is a beacon of automotive excellence in Ocala. Founded on integrity and expertise with unwavering dedication in all operations, we seek to forge lasting relationships with our clients. Whether you have one vehicle or a fleet, we pledge our best effort in quality service. From repairs, diagnostics, tire repair and replacement, diesel engine work, horse trailers, car batteries, wheel alignments, fuel systems, and more. Discover more at wideautomotive.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios, presented by Piranha Animal Health in the horse capital of the world.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. As I said, I'm not here, so we have actually picked some of our favorite segments of the year. And one of the best times I've ever had in my life was on the Great Florida Cattle Drive. What an incredible experience that was earlier this year. So here we have Travis Brown, the cow boss, to tell you a little bit more about that experience, and I'm looking forward to next time. Here's Travis.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, thank you for having me. Say my name's Travis Brown, 50 years old and from Melbourne originally. Been here in Okeechobee since 2008. Got my bachelor's degree in animal science and just been managing large beef herds on large ranches all my life, pretty much. I just grew up wanting to be a cowboy, basically. My parents I didn't grow up in a ranching, or, my family didn't have land and cattle. I had a bunch of friends that I grew up with that their families did in Melbourne, the Platts and the Kempfers, and just blessed enough to be friends with them and go help them work cows, and just, like every kid's dream, I think every kid's dream, wanting to be a cowboy, and I fell in love with it. It was my passion, so I just that was my goal, and I said, well, that's what I'm going to do. And so I, went to University of Florida, graduated with my bachelor's degree in animal science. Go Gators.
Go Gators.
And but I've worked at Deseret. I've been a foreman there for, I was there 6.5 years as a foreman, and largest cow-calf ranch in the United States, has been for the last 15 years. And then Likes Brothers, I think they're number 4 or 5 in the nation. But just, I wanted to do this. I'm the cow boss. Basically, I picked out the route, got with all the landowners, got permission to come across their land, and met with them, and figured out how to drive these cows, because you got to have a plan, right? If you don't, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? So got that all worked out, and so that was the hard part, right? Because a lot of these places I haven't necessarily been on, personally. I haven't worked cows on every single one of these ranches. We've been on about 16 different landowners, 16 different properties. But that's the hard part, is navigating all that. The easy part is just managing the cows.
Cows are probably easier than people, right?
Absolutely. And I will say this, so I give all the credit to my cowboys. I'm just the guy up front leading them, right? I'm just holding them down a little bit. It's my cowboys and them that are actually doing all the work, right? They're keeping them bunched, making sure they're following me, making sure they're not wandering off or running off, going squatting, hiding somewhere. So my cowboys, they are the stars of the show, really. So I give them all the credit. And a lot of my crew is family. My daughter who's worked with me most of my life, raised. I was blessed enough to raise my kids and my family on a ranch, and so she's here helping us as one of our cowboys. My son-in-law's with us, my brother-in-law, and then a buddy of mine I used to work with, his daughter, who's same kind of boat, raised on a ranch. Their family has a large ranch in Lake Wales. So it's just kind of neat, the generations of cowboys and just promoting that. We've lost a lot of that because, unfortunately, we've lost a lot of land.
I'm Carlton Moore Jr. I'm a photographer. I focus largely on Florida ranch lands. I founded the Florida Wildlife Corridor Project, which tells the story of how Florida's wild heart is still connected. So you have amazing state parks and national parks and preserves, and you have millions of acres of farms and ranches, and you put them all together, you have an unbroken corridor that can support a 5-day long cattle drive like we're doing this week in the Kissimmee River Valley, or it can support the habitat needs of a bear or a panther or a grasshopper sparrow, all these endangered species that we share the land with. This is the third cattle drive, fourth cattle drive I photographed or documented, and it's really awesome to see, particularly this year, because 3 of the ranches that we're crossing or touching this week have been protected by conservation easements in the Florida Wildlife Corridor just in the last 3 or 4 years. And it's amazing to have been part of that journey. And it gives me hope that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you could do this same route and this path will be here, because the state land and all the ranches that are permanently protected now. And so the best thing we can do is keep funding the Florida Forever program, the Rural and Family Lands Protection program, and keep people knowing about this way of life and what it does for the benefit of everybody living on the coast.
I wanted to do this to bring education, promotion, and tell our story. If we don't tell our story, somebody else will, and chances are it's not going to be the truth. So I love communicating and making sure that the truth is out there. We're stewards. We're the original stewards of the land. If we don't take care of the land and the cattle, we'll starve.
Absolutely.
Basically.
Makes sense.
We are the 1% of the nation feeding the other 99%. And so I'd love to see that change. I wish, but if I can't make that change, I at least want that 99% to know where their food comes from and just know that they're getting a safe, wholesome product, the best source of protein there is, and we have fun doing it too. And we take care of the cows, and they take care of us.
Travis, absolutely incredible experience. We've had some very, very cold nights. Obviously, we've had some ice inside the tent. It's definitely been roughing it. And I have traveled the globe covering every sort of event that you can think of. And no offense meant to anywhere else I've ever been, but I cannot say that I have had a better 5 or 6 days than here. Meeting some of the most phenomenal people and horses, just being in this camp setting every night and kind of roughing it. And everybody here has been amazing. The team, the staff, the food, it's all been incredible. And we have been so blessed to be here and share this experience. And And it's just been, I've had a lot of people say that they're living vicariously and they will not miss the next one. And so we're just very grateful to you for letting us be part of this and sharing this, not just this legacy, but teaching the future generations about the importance of this and these traditions. And I hunt. I'm fortunate enough to go drag hunting with Misty Morning Hounds, and it's one of the most amazing experiences. And that is, again, keeping a tradition alive. And I think that our history matters so much. And if we don't keep doing it, we're going to lose it. And you're making sure that this stays with us.
Absolutely. That this just getting our story out there, educating people. We all, nobody knows everything, and there's so many different trades and things, so many things I don't know about. The best way to learn is go to the source, and ask them, hey, how does this work? And that's what I wanted to do, is just show everybody what we do. It's not rocket science, but it's our heritage. It's our passion. Cowboys typically are pretty gritty and pretty hardworking, and typically we don't like to just talk in front of the camera and be in the limelight. But I've swallowed. I've told myself this is just for the kids that we're live streaming to every day, and for all the public. Just to give them a glimpse of our world and get the truth out there and to share a story.
Well, thank you, sir, for being with us. Thank you for sharing this, and we've had an incredible time.
Thank you for being here to document this and get it out there to the masses.
Thank you. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network at the Great Florida Cattle Drive with the Cow Boss. Grateful for the foundation of excellence laid over 40 years ago by their founders, Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care continues to provide excellence in ambulatory and emergency care, surgery, internal medicine and sports medicine, with a lab and pharmacy, as well as the best in reproductive services at their Advanced Facility Center in Summerfield. For more information, find them at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now.
DAC Vitamins and Minerals has been making a world of difference for 35 years. Do you know what sets DAC apart? We use chelation minerals from Alltech, which allows for better absorption. DAC is the only supplement company Alltech provides ingredients for. We have our nutritionist, Performance Horse Nutrition, NASP, which is the quality seal, which guarantees our products and ensures our use of quality ingredients. DAC gives you a guaranteed analysis in every 1 ounce scoop, a 60-day money-back guarantee. Doesn't your partner deserve the best? Visit feeddac.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family-owned since 1934, manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
We're a unique, tough breed. We work long, hard hours making sure your horses are healthy and properly shod because, well, we farriers know horses perform better when they're properly shod and healthy. You want quality horse products, supplements, and farrier supplies at affordable prices, and you won't settle for anything less.
TT Distributors is dedicated to quality horse products, supplements, and farrier supplies at affordable prices. Racehorse or a pasture pony, TT Distributors has what you need. 7715 West Highway 40, Ocala.
D&N Equine Recovery is owned and operated by avid horsemen. With over 75 years of experience in the equine industry, D&N Equine Recovery provides the only whole horse crematorium in the greater Levy-Marion County area, serving all of north central Florida. All staff are dedicated to demonstrating the utmost respect throughout this emotionally delicate process, providing compassionate and timely service when it matters to horse owners the most. For more information, go to dnequinerecoveryllc.com. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios, presented by Piranha Animal Health in the horse capital of the world.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network, here with world-renowned horseman Buck Branaman. Buck, thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
It's really an honor to be here with you and just to talk horse a little bit.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So you're here for a clinic in the horse capital in Ocala here from Wyoming. Unfortunately, we didn't have any warm weather today for you. Sorry about that.
I seem to have a knack for bringing the cold weather. I did it the last time too, so.
So the first thing I want to say is when I sit with you, I think I said this last time and mentioned it to Pete, my friend and co-host, that when I sit with you, I immediately feel very relaxed. And I feel that when you're around horses, that is so important. I'm reminded often by my co-host about our energy level, and I feel like a successful horseman needs to kind of have that very relaxing energy.
Yeah, it's true. Horses are so perceptive at just feeling of you long before you even get to them. And I often tell people it can be kind of like, and women really get this when I say it, that there's probably been times in your life where maybe you're in a social function and maybe some guy walked into the room and it was the opposite. You just maybe saw him, you didn't know him, had no reason to think it, but you thought, I do not want to be anywhere near that guy right there. I get a bad vibe, you know what I mean? And yet then there'd be maybe some other person and you'd think, I feel so drawn to that person and I don't have any reason to be, but you feel compelled. I don't know what they call that, but it's real.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Energy really matters.
Yeah.
And another thing that I would like to talk about a little bit is something that I think is really important to us as humans, and it's certainly very important to horses, and that is feeling safe. I know as a human, I want to feel safe in my friendships, relationships, the circles, social circles. I think that is so important for horses, and I think so many people do miss that.
Yeah, I tell people, I say, I know some of you are pretty eager to give your horse carrots and treats and that kind of thing, but the thing that means most to the horse is peace. And if the horse can get a sense of peace from being around you and the way you treat them, they can't ever get enough of that. And I just try to get people to understand how important that is to the horse and how much more satisfying it'll be to them if they're working from that place. Too. You can go to, shows or things like that and watch people that are even renowned horse trainers, so to speak, and you just might think to yourself, do you even like horses? And it's almost like they're warriors. And I don't know how a person could spend their life working with horses if they didn't have that passion for it.
Oh my gosh, I
guess
agree.
People do. But.
Well, you said something out there towards the end of the clinic. You said, everything good that's happened to me has been to do with horses and because of horses. And I think about my lifelong passion for horses since before I could walk. And I feel the same way. I feel like all the good things have had horses in them or associated with them.
Yeah.
And I think that the love of the horse is so huge. And I think once you get that bug, it's lifelong.
It is. When the horse, the way he responds to you, if the horse says, hey, I think you're a pretty good guy. Well, you can believe that because the horse isn't going to cover for you. And I've told people the opposite too over the years. If the way the horse responds to you, if the horse says, you're kind of a son of a you can believe that too. You are.
Yes, that's so true, isn't it?
Yeah, but it seems like if you make the changes as a person that you need to make to be able to be accepted by them and get along with them, it permeates your entire life, the way you go about things. And a lot of other things, not horse related, get better for you too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now there's a big topic, probably getting bigger every year, every month, all the time, and that is animal abuse. It's an absolutely massive topic.
Yeah.
And if we go back, hundreds of years and we think of the horse, we think of the horse as, the horse was the then Amazon, right? That was your delivery. The horse was the war horse.
The horse was the means of getting from A to B, ranch to ranch, farm to farm. And over the years, obviously now, with transportation and all the modern conveniences, horses are no longer an animal that is just used for what you need to survive. It is now, often in many cases, a luxury. Do you feel that horsemanship, especially the sort of horsemanship that you do, where you are trying to have a true partnership with the horse, where you're truly trying to have that relationship and trust and the horse feels safe, do you feel over the years you've seen that massive change and seen how much more important than ever it is that we do and follow somebody like you who can help us have that?
Yeah, you know, a good example is a few years ago, now I'll qualify this, that 99.9% of the people that come to my clinics, I just love being around them. It's the right kind of people, you know. So I was doing a clinic a few years ago in California, and this lady who I didn't know, she said, "Buck, you're a big player in the horse world. How come you don't do more for rescuing horses and horse welfare?" And immediately I kind of gave her this look. And I let her talk, and when she was done, I said, "Let me tell you something, lady. If I can change a person so that they don't fail on that horse and have that horse go get his head cut off, not only does that help that horse, but it helps every horse that person will be around their entire life, and in turn save the horse's life. And that person might help a few other people to get along with their horse so they don't fail and have to run them through the ring." And I said, so think about it like this. You would be surprised how many really well-bred horses, fine horses, go through the ring and get their head cut off because the human didn't know how to handle them, didn't know how to help them, and they failed and they sold them through the ring. I said, it's not always about someone starving their horse to death in the backyard. Some of them are real fine horses that the human failed on. And I said, so if I can change thousands of humans through my life, I've saved hundreds of thousands of horses.
That's right. And actually that's something that Dancing Pete Rhoda and I were just talking about, is how many horses' lives are saved through people who learn the proper way to handle and manage a horse. Because just like a child that's been abused, a horse that's been abused has trauma, and that horse is going to react accordingly. And the wrong person handling that horse could make that horse end up having to be euthanized because everybody thought it was a dangerous horse. But actually what it needed is a person to understand it, a person it could trust, and a person who could handle it without abusing it and give it that opportunity. 9 times out of 10, it's the people that are the problem, not the horses.
Well, like my teacher, Ray, always said, he said, I'm not trying to change the horse. I like him just the way he is. I'm trying to change the people so that they give the horse a better deal. And for the greater good, that's a lot better approach than just rescuing one horse. That's a drop in the bucket.
Right.
The Green Pharmacist CBD is not just made in the USA, it's made in Ocala in a licensed lab. GREENE, The Green Pharmacist. Smash Wraps creates business fleet and storefront interior and exterior solutions. Don't just wrap it, smash wrap it. SmashWraps.com.
Hello, I'm Pat Myers, owner of Pat Myers Electric, a family-owned and operated business founded on both trust and integrity. From new installations to repairs and emergencies, Pat Myers Electric's team of professionals can handle it all. Pat Myers Electric, for all your current needs. Discover more at patmyerselectric.com.
The Larson family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larson Hay loves to meet new customers while always honouring the ones they already have. Find Larson Hay on the web at larsonhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor. It's time to fight back against summer sores with K-Well's Red Repel, healing and soothing, a lava-slaying ointment of justice, powered by zinc and nature's sass. Safe for all horses, even drama queens, gentle enough for the face. Your horse deserves skincare too, long-lasting and non-toxic. A bonus, buy a copper curry brush or Red Repel and receive a free in-store K-Well sample of your choice in Ocala at Seminole Feed Stores, TD Distributors and OBS. Discover more at kwellusa.com. K-Well, strength by nature.
Love presents itself in so many ways. It can be difficult to describe the bond between human and horse because it really transcends words. As we prepare for each ride, the most important thing in our mind is our horse's health and safety. Are we playing our part in this remarkable relationship? We want to go to sleep every night knowing that we did everything in our power to preserve this special bond. Piranha Animal Health, for the love of the horse.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. She's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios, presented by Piranha Animal Health in the horse capital of the world.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet.
Your hometown Chevy experience.
Thank you to Larson Farms. They're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And we have Jackson Wagner in the studio with us.
So glad to be back.
Yes, and so last week
It was a big week.
I think I saw 500 or 600 people from between Monday and Friday last week. But we had our chamber here in Ocala. We are the only chamber in the world that we know of that has an equine initiative. And we had our equine initiative meeting at Old Pear Tree Farm. And it was the first time I showed up 30 minutes before the meeting and everything was done. I just arrived and I was like, everything's done. I've got nothing to do. It was so nice.
Darn.
It was a dream come true to cook for all of you guys and to tell you guys and show you guys about mounted games, because it's so hard to explain it in words, but just to show you guys was so much fun.
Oh, well, we really enjoyed it. And I'll tell you, as a little kid, I did gymkhana. Loads of it. Like everything you can think of. And I haven't seen anything like that since I was here until now. And I'm like, this is like gymkhana. So fun.
If you're listening, Dancing Pete's on the screen on Nestor the Halflinger. He's having a great time.
Yeah, they wouldn't give me a whole horse. They only gave me half.
Yeah, we gave Pete half a horse.
One. It really is. It's an exciting, challenging sport, and I think having a mixture of people there with us at the equine meeting, some horse people, some not, it's so interesting because if you're not a horse person, you get to see something that's really action-packed.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a horse person and you do other sports, you're like, wow, this looks like fun. And I think it's an example of something that if you want to try it, you don't have to be necessarily good at it, as you could see, because I did it.
I enjoyed the history lesson of where it came from.
Yes.
If you could repeat that.
Yes, so Mounted Games was started by Prince Philip in the late 50s, I believe, as a way to get the young kids who weren't as well off to be able to be in some kind of competition setting without a fancy, expensive show pony. You can take any old pony and play Mounted Games because it's the skill is more on you, what you're doing in the games, and it just took off from there. And I was so good to have Louisa and Dancing Pete out there giving it a try, and like Louisa said, it's a great spectator sport even if you don't know anything about horses.
Oh, it really is. It was so fun, and that was only my second time. You guys let me have a try the Sunday before, so I wouldn't make a total fool of myself in front of all our chamber partners.
But I was okay. No, I did it once.
You did have a practice too. So the second time I did it, I enjoyed it much more than the first time. I think the first time I was overthinking, like, oh, I've got to make sure I do everything right.
There's a lot
the second
of
time it was just like, let me go fast and have fun.
Well, and what I enjoyed when I went to the Buck Branaman clinic was to see you guys doing it full speed, top competition, and most of you weren't getting off your horses like we had to. You guys were leaning down and grabbing stuff out of buckets.
Some acrobatic stunts going on. Yeah, we had our first competition of the season. The winter season has kicked off here in Ocala. We've got 3 or 4 more coming up. Florida Horse Park was great.
Shout out again to
shout
Jason.
out.
Big shout out to Jason and the Florida Horse Park for making that all
And so
happen.
serendipitous, the guests you've had on today, because April, was at the Florida Horse Park, and she was trail riding and saw us there. And, she's an endurance rider, and our awesome coach Pam, who coaches all of us down here in Ocala, she got her start in endurance riding. And so...
what is it we say? We're 2 degrees of separation.
2 degrees.
But,
it used to be 5, but it's 2.
Yeah, Florida Horse Park was great because there was a bit of a mix-up with the scheduling, and, there was a FEI driving show and the Buck Branaman Clinic, and Florida Horse Park got us in there anyway and helped us have a great competition. And
they're great. Jason's
and I thought you guys were set up great in that one area.
Yeah.
It was
in the Peterson Smith Arena, no less.
No less.
There
you go.
I know,
And,
right?
so
That's great.
hopefully one day, Mounted Games is so big that they're telling the FEI driving shows that there's no room for them. We've got a Mounted Games competition.
There you go.
So it's a sport. I mean, you competed for the USA twice, so it's a big deal sport. But it's not that many people that are participating yet. Is that right?
No, well, this was a great
growing,
turnout
right?
for a Florida show. We had almost 70 entrants, which is big for a little pony show. And we're trying to grow the sport. We just want more and more people to come. We've had some new riders come, and this was their first show, and that was so much fun to help them out. So anybody that wants to come try it, come to Old Pear Tree Farm and try it. But it's great. We just want the sport to grow, and serendipitous as well with Bob talking about their event at HITS. HITS is hosting an international competition in October this year, so we're going to have Mounted Games riders from Australia and New Zealand and South Africa and Canada all meeting up, and you guys can come out and watch that at HITS.
And that's in October.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be back on to plug that again as well.
Absolutely, for sure, for real.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about the breed. I jokingly called the pony Pepper that I rode the Zorse, because it reminds me of a Zorse. It's a cute little pony. But talk to us about the breeds, because it doesn't matter, right? It can be just about anything,
I mean,
right?
I ride a half quarter horse, half German riding pony. She's a real Looney Tune. Pepper, the Zorse, she's a rescue. We have no idea what she is, but she looks like she's about quarter zebra. And then,
Probably Mustang.
Yeah, she's
Zebra Mustang.
I just
she might be a
let me just
Mustang.
go on with my dream.
Okay,
She's a Zorse.
She thinks she's a Zorse.
It's a Zorse.
Never mind.
There's if you're watching, there's Zoe, my German riding pony, lunatic.
Bless her.
She is not a lunatic.
Well, she's a very sweet girl. She's very lovely and forgiving of me and my mistakes.
So really, I mean, any horse or pony.
any breed. I mean, we've got Arabs and halflingers and quarter horses, and my old mare was half Trakehner. I mean, whatever you want.
What's the height limit?
The height limit's 15.2, so anything under 15.2, bring it out there.
You've been doing this for 3 years.
Yep, just coming up on 3 years.
And that's when you learned to ride too.
This was how I got my start.
You got thrown in the ocean and you swam.
You swam.
I tried to tread water. But it's been great. It's a great sport to learn in, because it's pretty forgiving. Maybe not physically, but.
Well, what I thought was interesting, because the second time I did it, I was on a team with Aiden
and Francisco have represented USA multiple times.
And Aiden's like top 5.
He's one of the best in the United States. He's really amazing.
But you guys treated me like a team member.
Yeah.
That you knew I didn't understand. Everybody gave me a piece, and Aiden had to ride my horse because his was lame. So I had to jump off and let him.
Yeah, we
get
were all
on.
sharing ponies. Yeah, that happens
but
sometimes.
It was the teammanship, knowing I was the low man on the thing. But I had to win. You had to put me in there.
Yeah, you have to play as a team. That's what makes it so great. We all love going out and competing. Whether you're a jumper or an eventer or whatever, and it's you and your horse are the team. But in Mounted Games, it's you and your horse and your friend and his horse and his friend and his horse, and the horses have to be good teammates. You know, the horses have to get along or learn to get along, and everybody has to give each other a little bit of grace and have patience with each other, and it's a real team equestrian sport.
I have to say, the second time I did it, I just really was just loving every minute. I was like, oh, this is...
Sounds like she might be hooked.
I might be. I was starting to wonder if that big Belgian could do it. No, he's too big.
He can do it. Come on.
I promise he's 15 too.
Yeah, he's 15 too. From the knee up.
Yeah.
Jackson, thank you so much. If you're in Ocala, it is Old Pear Tree Farm. If you're not in Ocala, it's worth coming. They have practice on Sunday afternoons at 2 o'clock, and everybody's welcome to come and give it a try. If you decide you want to do it again, it's very reasonable. You can bring your pony or small horse, and you will absolutely love it. Check it out, Old Pear Tree Farm. Thanks, Jackson, so much.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you for the sticky toffee pudding.
Oh, you're welcome.
It was the best.
Trying to become a British chef.
You're brilliant. We'll be back on the Horse Talk Show. Stay with us.
Ocala Dog Ranch offers a variety of services for your dog, including agility training, barn hunt training, board and train, boarding long and short term, daycare, day training, dock diving training and competitions, disc dog, swimming lessons and pool rentals, lure coursing and obedience training classes. Check out Ocala Dog Ranch at ocaladogranch.com. Ocala Dog Ranch is your home away from home for your dog and more.
At Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, our customers say it best.
Oh, the prices were great. They were actually unbeatable.
Thanks, Miss Delara. At Palm Chevy, we do our best to give you our best price and payment without the games. And our entire team is committed to making your experience in sales or service pleasant and hassle-free.
It's been a pleasure doing business around here.
Thanks, Mr. Hars. And we think you'll agree. Visit us today at Palm Chevrolet, Southwest College Road in Ocala, or at palmchevrolet.com. Find new roads.
Love presents itself in so many ways. It can be difficult to describe the bond between human and horse because it really transcends words. As we prepare for each ride, the most important thing in our mind is our horse's health and safety. Are we playing our part in this remarkable relationship? We want to go to sleep every night knowing that we did everything in our power to preserve this special bond. Piranha Animal Health, for the love of the horse.
World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Centre Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs, EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Centre now on Facebook and find them on the web at epcrehab.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at seminolefeed.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios, presented by Piranha Animal Health, in the horse capital of the world.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Of course, I'm not here, I'm out of the country, so we have a best of show for you this week. We've chosen our very favorite interviews, and I was very excited to have Mariana Yeager with us in the studio, hoping in the future to get her husband, Gary Yeager, on the show. We hope you enjoy this. Here's Mariana.
Hi, Mary.
Hello.
Lovely to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you to Chris Miller very much for the introduction. I can't believe I've never met you before because we've crossed probably paths multiple times.
I got one over you. I've met her before.
You've met her before.
One. I can write it down.
It took them a bit to figure it out.
17 years ago.
17 years ago. Really? It was that long?
It was that long. I know because it was before I had my son and he's 16. So.
Wow. Was that back in your Pirelli days?
Yes,
was that when you crossed paths?
That was.
Because you did 10 years of Pirelli, right?
I did.
Yeah. Dana Gretchen Thompson.
Wow.
I went to the first session that they ever did on the Ocala property that was taught by Pat and Linda. So.
Really?
Yes.
So that goes back a bit.
A ways.
And that's when you met. What triggered you to remember that you met him? Was it the dancing part?
Yes. When you kept saying dancing Pia, I was like, sounds so familiar, and it's very distinct. So
it is.
It did. Yeah.
He
I
dances.
had that nickname way back
Yes.
in the day.
How long have you had that nickname?
Since I was in college. So.
A couple years.
Yeah. 2000.
You're like Betsy. You're only 28.
I think I got it in 2005.
Mariana, tell us a little bit of your background. Did you grow up riding horses?
I did. I am School of Hard Knocks, though. I got my first pony when I was 5. My grandparents bought it for me. It was from Santa. I think my first saddle had, hay strings attached for stirrups.
Yeah.
I did many different breeds and disciplines just to get into any barn that I could get into and ride. It didn't matter if I had to clean 40 stalls to ride one horse for an hour. That was kind of my background growing up. So everything from hunter jumpers, Western pleasure, jumpers, eventing. I did get into driving because we had actually started a cowboy church, and I was doing an outreach program for young women and that had been brought out of sex trafficking in Tennessee. And so I had a lot of girls that were terrified to ride. And I thought, well, you know what? I'll pick up driving. They can just sit beside me, and it ended up being an incredible therapy program, just driving. And I've had this 2-year-old halflinger in this restored lawn and ornament that I had gotten out of someone's yard, basically, and refurbished it myself. I knew nothing about driving, but it ended up being this great tool. And they would end up just sitting beside you, and then just unloading these horror stories of where they had been, and it just became this incredible therapy program. And so.
It's so awesome that you were able to take, because horses, we see it all the time in all the different programs, how horses are so calming for people and how much they help people who've been through difficult situations. But to take that and then say, okay, well, they may be afraid to ride, but they aren't afraid to sit in the carriage next to me. That is super cool, right?
I'd have been terrified to sit
yeah,
in the carriage.
I can't get him in a carriage.
Well, I did a lot of liberty work with him. I actually used a lot of my skills from the Pirelli program, did a lot of liberty work with these girls, and then we would take it and they would kind of use it in their everyday lives, and we would apply it, and it ended up being a great tool, and I'm really glad that I had that in my background to use. And we ended up having to move off that farm. The gentleman that had loaned us this incredible farm bought us a house. He ended up dying 3 years into the program, and I was like, what am I going to do with these driving horses? I had a Frisian at the time, a halflinger, and my friend was like, oh, you just need to compete in combined driving. I was like, what is that? And she was like, don't worry about it. I got a carriage. We're gonna go to the Indiana CDE. And I was like, what is that? She was like, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna come pick you up in the pony. And so we ended up going to the Indiana CDE like 2 months later. The pony that I had actually ended up winning the training level division, which is very low level, but I was thrilled. Actually got picked up by a developing driving program at the time, developing athlete program, which is a USEF program that they do for drivers, that they basically to groom drivers to go on to be part of the U.S. team if they think that you have the talent and the ability of what it takes to do that. And so I took the pony as far as I could go, and the coach at the time was like, Marion, I really think you have what it takes to go to the U.S. team, but we need to get you a horse that can take you there as well. So I sold that pony and bought my first horse, which was my FEI, my first FEI horse, which was a Hackney horse.
Is that Bravo?
That was Bravo. Very hot-blooded 4-year-old, came out of the Amish community. You could drive him down the road 100 miles an hour. He couldn't halt, couldn't walk. He ended up being an incredible horse. My girls still ride him today. He was my first 3-star horse, and I have him to kind of thank for this journey. And then FAM was my next step in going to the World Championships.
And that's the horse you have.
And that's the horse that I'm driving now, which is currently owned by the farm owner that we work for. So,
how exciting. So your journey from helping other people with horses turned into you had horses left
that were driving horses and what do I do? Oh, I think I'll learn the sport.
Yeah, so I've only been in this sport for about 10 years, which is really not a long time to have been in this sport. And Fam, we got as a 6-year-old, and he was kind of a free-range breeding stallion at that point.
And that's the one you just competed in Live Oak International with and all of that.
Yes, he's only been driving for 4 years. It was incredible. 2 years ago, he went to Le Pen in France as the first alternate for the U.S. team, and he basically did training through prelim and then went to FEI. He was just that talented, and he was pretty young and green at that point. I didn't have any huge expectations of him at the World Championships, but to just kind of survive it and keep his mind intact. And I knew if I had 2 years again that he would be a really competitive horse, I think, for the team. And I think he has the ability to be a top 10 World Championship horse. So I'm hoping that he makes the team this year for 2026 to go to Munich in Germany. Live Oak was a qualifier. He will go to the national championships in Tryon next month, and that is the last qualifier here on U.S. soil. After that, we will send him to Germany and stay over there with Glenn Geertz and train with him for a month before the World Championships. If he makes the team, wonderful. If he doesn't, we'll go and do some national shows over there and bring him home. So,
gosh, that's
wow! What a
I
life.
know that's a big undertaking, isn't it? It's exciting, though.
It's huge, and I think the mental pressure of athletes is a really understated. I think it could be talked about more. That's a real.
It's tough.
That's what I was not prepared for the first time, is you are really looking at being an Olympic athlete and how much mental pressure is not just on the horse, but on the athlete as well, and how it affects the two of you in a partnership. But I've really worked hard on that since going the last time, and the things that I wasn't prepared for and that he wasn't prepared for, and that's a big. I've started working with some sports psychologists, and it's not talked about enough, I think,
agree.
for people at the top level.
I think I agree. Dancing Pete does a podcast that I think focuses a lot. He does with Ian Robb from Beamer, that I think they focus a lot on how you get in the zone and how hard that is. And I think that's a really big a part of it. And I'll even go back to like when I was competing and when my daughter was competing, and the types of the nerves that you have when you're getting ready to go out there. That's hard. That can be hard to manage, and that can be passed on to the horse. Obviously, the horse knows when you're on edge. They know what your energy's like, and if your energy's off, theirs is off. And sometimes it's really hard to get yourself in the zone, just to use. It's hard to get yourself there, but you know you're responsible for how the horse feels. And so that's extra on you then to try to...
Well, at Live Oak, we had 14 people in the 3-star class. That's the biggest class I've ever competed in. Usually there's 5 or 6 of us at that level. And we had 14. All of the top trainers in the United States were in it.
Gosh, that's a lot.
It's a lot. And my horse was in... Okay.
Because we are going to take a very quick break.
At Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, our customers say it best.
Oh, the prices were great. They were actually unbeatable.
Thanks, Miss Delara. At Palm Chevy, we do our best to give you our best price and payment without the games. And our entire team is committed to making your experience in sales or service pleasant and hassle-free.
It's been a pleasure doing business around here.
Thanks, Mr. Hars. And we think you'll agree. Visit us today at Palm Chevrolet, Southwest College Road in Ocala, or at palmchevrolet.com. Find new roads.
World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Centre Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs, EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Centre now on Facebook and find them on the web at epcrehab.com. DNA D&N Equine Recovery is owned and operated by avid horsemen. With over 75 years of experience in the equine industry, D&N Equine Recovery provides the only whole horse crematorium in the greater Levy-Marion County area, serving all of north central Florida. All staff are dedicated to demonstrating the utmost respect throughout this emotionally delicate process, providing compassionate and timely service when it matters to horse owners the most. For more information, go to dnequinerecoveryllc.com. It's time to fight back against summer sores with K-Well's Red Repel, healing and soothing, a lava-slaying ointment of justice, powered by zinc and nature's sass. Safe for all horses, even drama queens, gentle enough for the face. Your horse deserves skincare too, long-lasting and non-toxic. A bonus, buy a copper curry brush or Red Repel and receive a free in-store K-Well sample of your choice in Ocala at Seminole Feed Stores, TD Distributors and OBS. Discover more at kwellusa.com. K-Well, strength by nature. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios, presented by Piranha Animal Health in the horse capital of the world.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Hi, I'm Becky Jenkins from Grateful Gallops. As a veteran, I understand the importance of holistic approaches to support pain relief, mobility, range of motion, and overall wellness. I offer mobile wellness services for you, your horse, and your dog, including cryotherapy and Beamer. For equines and canines, I also provide muscle scraping, massage, stretching, cold laser, red light therapy, cupping, craniosacral release, and other energy-based modalities. As an equestrian myself, I know how important a comfortable, relaxed horse is to performance and well-being. I come to you. I provide relief, promote healing, and would love to be part of your wellness journey with your 2, 3, or 4-legged family members. Learn more at GratefulGallops.com or follow Grateful Gallops on social media. And don't forget to mention the Horse Talk Show ad for 50% off your first service.
Back on the final segment of the Horse Talk Show for this week, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton. I'm away. I'm actually in England trying to get you some really great horse coverage from across the pond, so I hope you're following us on social media. As you know, I have shared the experience of having a lame Mustang with a fractured hock. Had the wonderful experience of getting to know Becky Jenkins from Grateful Gallops this year, who has some science-backed, proven therapies that have really helped my horse so much. And I've shared that with you, our listeners and viewers. So we are now going to rerun one of my favorite segments of this year, which is Grateful Gallops Cold Laser. Because I know how effective it is, that makes it even more favorite than usual. So here's Becky from Grateful Gallops. And don't forget your 50% off if you mention the Horse Talk Show on your first visit. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network here with Becky Jenkins from Grateful Gallops. And we are going to talk about one of the modalities for healing your horse that she is so passionate and driven about, and that is cold laser.
Yes.
Becky, thanks for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's run through a little bit about cold laser. We've had you on the show. You're a veteran. Thank you for your service. And you're very passionate and driven about what you do, which is so important. And I know you care very much about healing our horses.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about how it works and what it does.
Okay. So the cold laser is stronger than a red light, which 9 people out of 10 out there know what the red light is. Most of them even have their own red light. The cold laser goes even deeper. So with the cold laser, you have to be certified to use it because you can do damage to yourself and to whatever animal, whether it's a dog or a horse that you're working on. And you have to know how much time that you're going to work on each area and what the intensity is. So the actual vets that come out or have you go to them for cold laser, they've got one that wheels around. I've got the strongest one that you can get that's handheld so that I can take it with me and go to the different areas and see the horses and the dogs. But what it does is it helps to promote the healing of the tendons and the ligaments, and it helps to get that blood going, and it helps to energize. So if you've got a broken bone and you're 30 years old, it's going to heal differently than if you have a broken bone and you're 75. So with the cold laser, it helps to get everything going as if you're the younger version of yourself. Which
we all like that.
Yes, yes. So it's going to go in, it's going to start doing that healing. It's something that you do need to use a lot of. You know, I've got one client that twice a day for a month and a half, and she had the vet come back out and her horse had a torn ligament. And we have the x-rays, the ultrasound, everything to prove, and she did that twice a day for about a month and a half. The vet came back out and it was healed up, 100% healed up. Didn't even know that the injury was there.
That's incredible.
Yes. So that right there, that's proof. I've seen it in other animals like dogs that have a torn ACL. It helps to make it stronger. So the ACL...
Like my dog, you mean?
Yes. Well, I've seen other dogs, but the ACL keeps that kneecap from going back and forth, and once it's torn, you have to have surgery to hold everything where it needs to be. Well, a cold laser comes in and says, hey, why don't you tighten up a little bit? And it starts to give it the, not regeneration, but it helps to make it start to get stronger and tighten itself up so that it can actually hold it.
So it's encouraging the healing.
Yes, yes.
Now, I noticed you didn't do it for very long on either the dog or the horse, so let's talk about that. You were very kind about introducing yourself very gently to the animals and getting to know them, so they loved you right away. And then obviously because you're going behind Flynn to his hock, you know, you're wanting to make sure he's comfortable. But it wasn't as long as I expected. So let's talk about that.
Yes. So what I do initially is I'll do 30 seconds just to see how they are receiving it. Sometimes you can have a horse or a dog that's very sensitive. So if they have anything, they're like, oh my gosh, and they want it off of them, they want you to get away from them. But as it's putting that energy in there, it can become bothersome. So you want to do small little spurts, see how they do with it, and then you build up from there. With any modality that I do, you start off with less is more, and then you build up to what their tolerance is. So for the particular hock issue that we are dealing with, I'm doing 30 seconds on 3 different areas, which encompasses that whole entire hock area. And then I go back and I do another 30 seconds. That's the max that he has been able to tolerate. The goal would be to get up to 5 minutes, but at 3 minutes, we're still getting the healing quantities that we can. And the same thing with Lucy. As we're doing it, I'm doing 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other side. The goal would be to get up to 5 minutes on her as well. Every animal and every situation is going to be different. So you can't say, oh, 30 seconds is what I heard Becky say.
It's not cookie cutter.
It's not. No, definitely not. And the frequency plays a big role. If you have too high of a frequency and you're on a small animal, it can hurt them and it can do damage that we can't fix. And that could be life-changing for me, for you as an owner, for my client, you know, whether they're a dog or a horse. So it's important that I know everything. And if I have questions, I can always go back to the company and to the place that I got my certification. We've got a forum that all of us practitioners go on. We send messages back and forth. So if I've got someone with a hock issue, I can say, hey, just want to confirm, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm getting out of it. Has anybody else had the same results or the same issues, same concerns, any of that? And it's science. So we're constantly learning better ways of doing things, different ways of doing things.
So being a trained, certified professional is very important.
It is extremely important. My insurance does not cover me unless I am trained and certified in whatever modality I am using.
And as you said, you don't want to take a chance of doing more harm than good. So you need to know what you're doing and be trained to handle the cold laser.
Definitely.
Becky, how can people find you and book a cold laser session?
All they need to do is go to GratefulGallops.com, or they can find me on Facebook at Grateful Gallops, and it's an easy way.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm grateful. Looking forward to seeing how the results are with Lucy, my dog, and Flynn, my Mustang.
Here with Becky Jenkins from Grateful Gallops. Find her, like her, and follow her, Louisa Barton, for the Horse Talk Show. Becky, she is truly a miracle worker. Reach out to her at Grateful Gallops. I don't have a tip from Pete, Neil, or Pat for you this week because I'm in England, but I do want to do a big shout out to Ocala Dog Ranch and to Neil for looking after my dogs, doing a great job, boarding, training, you name it, they do it, dock diving, all the good fun, dog sports, and a great place to leave your dog when you're on vacation this summer. So shout out to Neil for that. Thank you so, so much. And please follow us on social media, especially over this week, as we'll be sharing Royal Ascot and lots of other wonderful activities from across the pond in England. And you know they'll be horse related. Until next week, whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world, or England, happy horsing around until the same time next week. Ocala Dog Ranch is the exclusive dog boarding facility to the Horse Talk Show. Piranha Animal Health is your trusted leader in insect control since 1972. Leave the engines behind and saddle up for an unforgettable experience on horseback with African horse safaris. Larson Hay, family owned and operated, Idaho's finest alfalfa.